that trip to Mexico, I got home, I think it was a Thursday, and and the next few days is when like hell started. I developed a rash. When I say rash, sometimes I think of hives covering my body or my kid's body if they have allergic reaction. But this was like no rash I had ever seen, and this is what it looked like. So it was another side effect from the immunotherapy. And so I was now like 4 weeks out from my first treatment, and I had two, and the fever was super, super high in Mexico, but this rash that had taken over my body covered every square inch of me. And 2 weeks or so after that time, it would be all over my face. It was horrible, horrible. This is what a little snippet that I wrote in my book about that rash and how I would try and get some relief. I wrote, I would get in the bathtub to try and escape the pain, and if the water was just warm enough but not too hot, I can stay in there and just soak. The itching would stop and the burning would stop. Other times I would get out of the tub, and as soon as the air hit my skin, the itching would start. One time I felt like I went nuts. I scratched as hard and as fast as I could all over my body until I drew blood, and then I screamed as loud as I could. I screamed until my throat hurt, and I laid there on my wet towel, too exhausted to even cry. I wanted to die so badly. I just wanted to stop, quit, end it. One of my lowest lows. Crazy that that was the lowest low, because I ain't seen nothing yet. But that rash, man, that rash was hell. It was the same rash that when I was admitted to the hospital, you'll hear that story next. Every time they did a blood draw, which was every 2 hours, they would tape up my arms with that rash, and then they'd rip off that tape. I felt like my skin too, and do it again until they finally discovered that there's some tape that didn't actually stick to my skin that they started using. But that rash, God, I hated that rash. When it was finally done, I shed my skin like a snake. It just peeled off. It was really disgusting, but I felt like I got a little facelift out of it. So that was positive about the rash. I got a little dermabrasion for free, if you will. That was day 3 after being home from Rocky Point, and I'll have to post tomorrow about the trip to the hospital and how I got there and the fun that really began.